1.4 is translation in a coordinate plane. Now listen, I literally have 2 slides, but that's because I'm going to go and we're going to look at a video and we're going to play around with some stuff online and just talk through stuff, okay?
I like that.
Can we get our quizzes back?
Lady, why don't you just
down.
Translation is a rigid motion that slides every point on a figure to the same distance in the same direction. So translation is like, okay, it can slide. It just slides.
Oh yeah.
It's like that song, slide to the left.
That reminds me of weddings.
Slide to the right. You're translating your body. Did you know that?
We are.
You're causing a translation to take place.
I've never been. I've been part of holding it.
Okay? So translation. Guys, once again, we don't have to copy word for word. We can just do key things, yes?
Well, you could copy word for word and get it perfect.
Or so Ms. Peters is going to change it real quick, so you might want to learn how to take shorthand notes. Okay, we're going to look at this little amsco.com stuff real quick. Thanks.
Okay, well.
You get 30 seconds.
That's a long time.
You gave me 5 seconds the other day. They should get 5 seconds.
Or you can just start it. Monday we should have the water bottle thing.
Water?
Who can drink the most water?
Who can drink the most water?
Who can drink the most water?
I will win. You know who would benefit?
Okay,
I don't want to tell you.
translation
These
is a
things
coordinate
help
plane.
so much.
Good, see I told you, they're very
awesome.
helpful.
What
Oh
is
my God.
that?
He's our translation
Can you
gnome.
name him?
Is it Nomeo?
Nomeo?
Nomeo.
From Nomeo and Juliet.
Guys, so here's the deal.
Yes.
A translation says that we are going to move and we're going to shift left, right, up, down, whatevs, okay? But the whole, every shape or every piece of that shape has to shift the same amount of units, okay? So this just lets you play around with it. If I want to move to the left, let's say I want to go 3 and I want to go up 2. And I say move. See his translation? He moved up 3 and he moved over. Well, okay. Well, yes, he moved up first. Watch, I'll show you again. Let's change this. Let's do this.
It looked like he only went to
That's because, watch, it only does 1 at a time. So there he is. From this second position, he moved over there 5 units to the left.
Yep.
We want to go down.
She has them both. So
Because I
you
have
do the
5 in and then
he has to go
7.
down.
So what happens is they slid him over 5 and then they said from here he slides down 7. Just because there's 2 in. What?
When you're like translating and it says go to the left 5 and then down 7.
Yeah, you're going to do
Don't
both
you-
on the same one.
Okay.
Just
I thought
here,
so.
the computer program only does 1 at a time. Okay, but I can also go here. There's a monster one and, what?
Just click that and then allow.
I am. Thank you.
Welcome.
This is the monster one.
Which
Okay, so
one
the
is it?
monster one's a little bit different. See here, see how it tells you your point is -7.4, B is -9.1, C is -10.5, D is -4.5, -5. Oh, I can't talk. -6.1, -5.3. Okay. Let's say I want to translate this +2 in the X and -3 in the Y. Okay. Now. He moved over 2 and down 3, right? That happened all at the same time. Look at what happens here. What do you notice? This is -7.4, this is -5.1.
You add that to each one.
Yes, so like I am taking whatever is in the X, and if it says shift it to the right 3, I'm adding a +3 to every point where the X is. If it says shift it down 7, you're subtracting 7 to every point where the Y is. So you can do the math without even having to graph it. You can just add and subtract.
Wow.
Or subtract and add, or subtract and subtract, and add, whatever, okay? So if it's to the right, you're adding on the X. If it's to the left, you're subtracting on the X. If it is up, translates up, you're adding on the Y. If it's translating down, you're subtracting on the Y. Does that make sense? Pretty-
Yes.
It's pretty straightforward, okay? So this one was nice because it let us see the translation both in image and also in points, okay? Now let's go back and there's one other one, there's a mouse one, I think it's the same, but it's cute. And then we're gonna look at something else, maybe, well, it says loading, who knows? So when you're doing this, you're just adding and subtracting, that's not gonna load, so.
Nothing to wonder.
Right, I don't know why it's not loading. I need to grab this. So then, there's a little tiny video that talks about translating, okay? But translating shouldn't be all that difficult, I don't think, okay? It should be pretty common sense. You should be able to do this pretty well.
Beep, 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 beep. Actually, no, let's play the backup.
Mr. Help from Mr. A, and today I'm going to be teaching you a
Okay.
little bit about transformational geometry. First thing we're going to do is we are going to take a look at translations.
I'm sorry.
So when I do a translation, I find it a lot easier to move point by point
Okay,
rather than moving the
Did you
entire
hear that?
shape. So over here we see our
he says, instead of moving the entire shape, do it point by point, okay? I will tell you, I think it's easier if you do it point by point also. If you try to move the entire shape and translate it, you're gonna mess up someplace. Move each point, regraph each point, and then do what you gotta do.
How weird his 8s are, if the
the
top and
transformation
bottom.
that we want to do, which is a translation.
Weird.
And here's our original figure. It's labeled A, B, C, D.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward through some of this because,
3 spaces right and then 2 spaces down. 1,
Now.
2, 3, 1, 2. This is my new B point, and again, I'll call this B prime to show that it's an
we're not
image,
gonna call
not
it
a
prime,
visual.
we're gonna call it mapped, and I'll
Same thing with
explain
our
that in
C.
a second.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
You see how he's like going to that point and
C
counting
point,
over?
C prime.
You can do that, but if it's not already on a graph and they just give you a list of points, what are we gonna do?
Add 3 and add 2.
Yeah.
Then it's
okay,
just simply
And you can do it that way
connecting
too
the
if it's
dots.
on a graph, but if it's on a graph, it's
straight
really
edge.
simple for you to just be like,
You don't
do,
lose points.
right? Okay.
What a silly reason to lose points.
What a silly reason to lose points, guys.
We get
Yeah.
the
This
exact
I'm gonna pause it in a second, we're gonna talk about something here.
proportions of one side to another here.
Okay, no, I want his ruler out of the, I want him out of the
That's right,
way.
B prime.
Okay, boom, now look at this, okay? Do you see these little hash marks here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, he's calling those A, B, C, D prime. What our book calls them, what we call them are A, B, C, D mapped, okay? What that means is, if they give you 2 images like that and say, what was the translation? They don't tell you, but they give you 2 images. We know that because of these tick marks here, this is the new image. It's after something has happened. So we would look at this image to tell what the original was and then do the translation and figure it out, okay? If it has tick marks, it's been translated. You can translate something more than once. You can do more than one type of translation to it, okay? Which we're gonna talk about more later in this chapter. But if I have a point A and I move it, it's gonna look like that. If I move it again, it's double tick marks like that, okay? So that means this was the original, then this happened, and then this third thing happened, okay? And sometimes all of those are gonna like add to be significant or together. But you're gonna have to be able to do some translating and shifting, and you're gonna have to be able to read the symbols so that you know which one it's asking. Because if you don't realize which one's the original, and it says, what are the original points, and you're looking at those 2 graphs, then you could give me the wrong ones and your whole question's wrong, okay? So, be smart about it and know that for every tick mark we add, we had another translation, okay? Or another transformation. And today we're just talking about translations, which are just slides, okay? And then, yes, okay. A point is located at the X and Y coordinates, EF. It is translated 3 units down and 5 units to the right. What's its new location?
3, 5.
Mm-mm,
Oh, it's 5, 3.
mm-mm.
I don't know that.
It it's moved.
It's moved, but what? What's the original points?
0, 0.
No, what are the original points?
EFs.
EF.
So it's EF mapped, E mapped,
No.
F mapped?
E
Yeah.
E plus
F
3.
tick.
Okay,
Oh, E plus 3 F.
time out. E is what, and
Minus 3.
no, what spot is E in?
X.
So it'd be like,
X, so it's
E,
X,
E plus 5, F plus 3.
yes. So
Wow,
E
I'm
plus
not-
5, and then F
Minus 3.
minus 3. So if they don't give you numbers, you have to be able to put them in with the variables.
Why is it switched?
What do you mean, why is it switched?
Because
This is down. Down goes with my Y coordinate.
Yeah.
Okay, this is right, correct? That goes with my X coordinate. So you have to pay attention to directions greatly in this stuff, okay? Because it could be tricky. And if there's variables, you just simply put a plus or minus with it, because I can't be like, E plus 5 doesn't work, right? Like, that's not a thing. Okay, so you leave it as E plus 5, F minus 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we got today.
What?
That's it.
That's it, that's the whole lesson.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
so things like 5 and